Yeah, yesterday I released a quick video, something, well, I wouldn't say quick, but I released a video on something that I'm super excited about. It's this open source project called Change Detection. And it sounds like a website monitoring system, which it kind of is, but it's not like an uptime, downtime detector. It's more like monitoring the contents of a website. And I think it's really awesome. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now. So think if you wanted to monitor the price of a product over time, or you wanted to monitor stock to see if something's out of stock and see when it comes back in stock. Or you just want to see, like me, when Supermicro releases new firmware or new firmware updates. And so I can set up all of these watcher jobs to go out and check the web page and then notify me if something changes, which is pretty awesome. And then I kind of went wild and figured out how to get a Chrome headless browser running so that I could drive that browser and do some automation to actually drive to different pages for me. You could even have it sign in for you. Some people, I realized, are using this pretty heavily after I released the video. I heard all these use cases. Some people are monitoring their like 401k and stuff with this thing. I was just thinking, man, I just want to see firmware and when things come back in stock and the price of a couple of things online. But some people are really, really going deep with it. So it's pretty fun. But yeah, you could ultimately automate a login to some account and check some stuff, which some people are doing. So it's pretty wild, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to play with, even if I'm not doing anything that's super critical. As critical as it gets is like I said, monitoring for new software updates. Because right now in Chrome, I have one folder dedicated to, I call it firmware, but it's really software updates that I care about. And what I do is I right click on that folder, I say open all. And it'll open up 52 tabs. And I have to go into each one and say, is there an update? Is there an update? Is there an update? And most of the time, they don't even have the release dates on there. So I have no idea if it's new or not. And so that's really what I was going after. But after I did it, I realized there's people doing some pretty cool stuff with this. So anyways, I think it's fun. If you're interested in stuff like that, you should totally check it out. Outside of that video that I released, hot off the press, I just updated that machine back there. If you see a new logo back there, I'll kind of get out, maybe focus. We'll focus on it. Maybe kind of, sort of. I just updated that to Noble Numbat. Like literally, that's why I was a few, I don't know, minutes late joining the stream, because I went back there and I saw it was ready and I was like, okay, I totally, oh, dude, thank you so much. Thank you. I don't even have my events open. I can tell I haven't streamed in 2 weeks. Dude, thank you so much. Who is that? Takano, how's it going, man? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Takano, 42 months. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Helping a friend build a PC later today with a Ryzen 7 7800, 4070, 32 gigs of DDR5, 600 megahertz, 6000 megahertz RAM, and 2 terabytes, and 2 terabyte 990 EVOS. Man, that is quite the system. Sounds awesome. Thanks, Takano. Thanks for the continued support. 42 months. Thank you so much. But I was saying, I was a little bit late starting the stream because I noticed that my system back there was finally ready to update to Noble Numbat. So I kicked it off, 15 minutes ago. I saw it was ready and I was like, sweet. So I finished the upgrade and seems fine. So I set the background image and now it's going to stay on that until the next update. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, outside of that, I have a couple other things that I don't know. You've probably seen a Discord, but I've been kind of moving some of my stuff around. I'm still trying to figure out, where does my data live? What is my NAS going to be? I mean, I have a NAS, but like, what is its role? Is it just a NAS? Is it NAS plus apps? Is it only spinning disks? Is it SSD? Is it flash? I've been trying to figure this out because I'm trying to separate some stuff out to try to get some stability in my home so I can destroy and break my home lab. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm basically, creating a prod and test environment at home. So I've been moving a lot of stuff out of K3S because I want my K3. I won't totally go into it, but I just want to have some more stability at home. And the last couple of weeks with Home Assistant not working the way it should, and me not being able to turn off lights, and my wife kind of giving up all hope on Home Assistant, I was like, okay, like it deserves better than this. It's not the system's fault. It's the operator's fault. And so I'll take the blame for all the stuff going wrong at home. It is definitely not Home Assistant. It's definitely my fault. So I kind of want to stabilize some stuff and have a better playground. That's kind of my goal of the next couple of months. Have a better playground to where I could totally destroy 3 machines, spin up a cluster of anything I want, and play with it and not worry about it. Like if it's down for days, who cares? It's just my environment. So anyways, that's what I've been working on. It's been super fun to be able to tinker a little bit more. I also got something in the mail from Patrick from Serve the Home. I don't know if I can share it yet though, because it says confidential on part of the hardware he sent me. So totally random. I got a package from Patrick from Serve the Home today, and you'll probably see it here in a little bit, but I'll share it on social media. But long story short, he heard me. He saw a screenshot of one of my CPUs and he said, "I can upgrade your CPUs if you want." I was like, "Okay, please do." So we sent 4. And it was basically this random numbers I had to pick, and it was pretty fun and pretty nice of him, Patrick, to do that. Some of the CPUs they on them say Intel confidential, so I don't know if I could show them. I'm sure I can. They're probably 3-4 years old, but at the same time, it better clear it with him first. So, anyways, let's get into what you're talking about. I usually don't like to blab about myself too much because then it starts to get weird. But yeah, if you have something you want to share, throw it in chat. I'm gonna start my way from the top and work my way down. Sorry, I had to see if music is still kind of going in the background. A little bit of delay there. Oh, and I think someone always asked, "Hey, what are you drinking? What bubbly water are you drinking?" I love bubbly water. I love all kinds. I think you guys have heard a while ago, the weirdest flavor I ever tasted was green bean casserole. Definitely low on my list. But I'm not drinking green bean casserole right now. Right now I'm having this is my all-time favorite right now. Good and Gather, it's a Target brand, caffeinated cherry cola, sparkling water. So imagine bubbly water. I always call it bubbly water. I have a hard time calling it seltzer. Caffeinated bubbly water, sparkling water that has a hint of cherry and a hint of cola and a little bit of caffeine. And this has 35 milligrams. I never knew how much that was until the other day. I looked at a Mountain Dew. I was like, okay, I need to compare this to a Mountain Dew. And I think Mountain Dew has 120. So, this is a lot less than a Mountain Dew. Probably a lot less than a cup of coffee too. But if it didn't have caffeine, I'd still drink it. It's pretty good. But there are some gross ones, and there are some gross ones out there. But if I'm not drinking caffeinated ones, I usually go for anything. Actually, I was gonna bring it, but I needed some caffeine. A cherry limeade one that is so good by Waterloo. Anyways, I'll stop talking about water. People always ask midstream, so I figured I'll just call it out now. So. Let's see what you guys were working on. Let's see. Test scene. Oh, I upgraded my, hey, I'm a membership. I don't know. I upgraded that, the plugin that I use, and I noticed it has more stuff. So you see more stuff, that's what's going on. So that was something else I did. I almost did it live. I had problems with this extension last time I streamed, so I updated it while I was starting to go live. What you normally do right before you go on stream. And we got some more stuff, so we'll see. Well, let's see. All right. I know this is Alex, and this is Alex from Discord, and I want to pronounce this right. And so I looked it up, and I think it's Welsh, but I have no idea how to pronounce this because even when I clicked on it's somewhere. This is actually a place, I think, and it's Welsh, and I have no idea how to pronounce it. I tried to even get the Google pronunciation to pronounce it, and I was like, that does not sound right. Anyways, thank you so much. How's it going? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. I totally agree. Hey, how's it going? Zero Sleep. Let's see. I'm just going to say Alex. If you don't want me to say that name from Discord, I won't say it, and I'll pronounce this terribly every time. But it is, in fact, Welsh. All right. See, I tried. I tried to pronounce it, but it's weird. It's like, it's not sign. It's more like a cane or something. I don't know. But let's see. This week, I saw someone using Home Assistant feed camera images into GPT-4. Oh, yeah, I saw that. to ask, where are my Uggs? And it responded on the floor to the right of the door, next to the coat rack. Mind blown. Yeah, I saw that post where someone was basically, set up their own. What did they do? They set up a feed so they could feed camera images to GPT-4o. Basically, I think it created a whole bunch of images and it would send it stills either way, and trained it to be its kind of personal assistant to analyze the stuff in there. And then you could ask it questions like, where are my Uggs? Where did I put my car keys? Where was my wallet last? You'd have to have a lot of cameras, I assume, or high fidelity cameras. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I think we're going to see a lot more stuff like this, like personal assistant type stuff with GPT, and a lot of stuff where it's going to, some of the stuff, I think it's, yeah, I don't know. I think about how much lately I've been using GPT. Dude, thank you so much. Prime sub, thank you so much. TF, Prime sub, thank you so much. 2 months, thank you so much. What do you think of GPT-4? There we go. And Google Gemini, did you test them both? What do you think? This is kind of going into what I was just talking about, how I've been using ChatGPT just more and more. Just I hate to say this term, but I think Microsoft totally got the term right when they said Copilot. Microsoft's usually bad at marketing, and nothing against Microsoft, but how many versions of Edge did they have? Surface was another thing before. They've been, notoriously bad at marketing technology, but they're really good at technology. And so, dude, Zero Sleep, thanks for the sub. Tier 1, sub 2 months. Thank you so much, Zero Sleep. Thank you. Anyways, I'm not picking on Microsoft because I love Microsoft. But I think they got the name right when they said Copilot, because I feel like lately, at least the last 3 or 4 days, that while I've been, migrating some stuff, that really GPT is becoming my Copilot. And it's funny because I'm asking it similar questions that I would ask a person that it would be in the room with me, or that would be in Slack with me, right? Except for they give the perfect answer back. Not that I need the perfect answer back, but it's I've been using it more and more, and I see a lot of benefits in it, especially when it comes to solving problems, especially technical problems, for sure. It's like, okay, hey, I'm trying this, it's not working. Here's an error. What should I do? Is this okay? Yeah, yada yada yada. And I honestly, the last 3 or 4 days, I've been just chatting it up with GPT. Anyway, so then what do I think about Gemini 2? I haven't used a lot of Gemini. I keep getting the request from, I think everyone who uses Google, is now getting, AI responses back when you Google something, which is interesting. Usually it's kind of distracting because it's so delayed. That it's kind of distracting. I'm really debating turning it off if it's even possible, because I feel like it slows me down waiting on the response, and it's doing the whole type blur. But I keep getting an invite from Google Workspaces to add it to my workspace to do stuff, and I was thinking, that would be pretty cool. At least for my Techno Tim business email. Because I get a ton of requests, and anytime you do anything, like if you do YouTube stuff or any kind of social media stuff, you're going to get tons of emails. You're going to get emails from people who want to sponsor you, to people who want to sell you something, to people who want you to check out their thing on Amazon. I mean, and those are just like opportunities, right? Dude, thank you so much. Atomic Django, thanks for the Prime sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. But those are just opportunities, right? And then there are people who email me questions, which I'd love to be able to answer everyone's questions individually, but it's a lot. And then, the list goes on and on and on. So I would love to be able to have something like Gemini in my email and just say like, hey, like, show me all the community questions, right? And then show me all, like some brands will send like this 2-page email. I know it's a template. And I feel like, okay, if you're going to use a template and just plug my name in and expect me to digest this whole thing, like I don't even want to spend my time on it. You know what I mean? And so that's where I feel like, okay, if you're going to manually send me a template email, I would love AI to just parse that and give me the lowdown, in 3 sentences, because for me as a human being, it's a lot to take in. And the same with anyone. Same with anyone. We're all bombarded with emails. Some of them are important, some are not. I mean, how many times are you that person that says, saw the email, didn't really read it, because you either think it's spam or you think it's not important. And so, yeah, it's kind of wild. Dude, TFC, I'm sorry, I need to get Blockbongo Networks. Thank you for the Prime sub, 18 months. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Anyways, so I don't have a fair assessment of Gemini. Long story short, I haven't used Gemini enough to know. I've been debating signing up for the free trial from Google to enable it on my workspace that is for my Techno Tim stuff, for my YouTube stuff. I've considered it because I feel like it's just it's the right amount of stuff that I could probably use, especially when replying to emails, summarizing emails, that's the kind of stuff that, if it saves me, 20 minutes a day and 15, 20 minutes a day, and then you multiply that by 30 days, that's a lot of time over time. And, this is kind of the business side of YouTube, like that kind of stuff, like, and no offense to any brand that, dude, thank you, Trevor, dude, thank you so much. 31 months. How's it going? Thank you so much. Yo, Tim, I'm a bit late joining. I'm working alone today in the TPX NOC. Dude, thanks. I appreciate it, man. And I'll get off this topic because I could probably talk about it all day, but on the business side of YouTube stuff, there's the creative stuff you want to do, and then there's a lot of admin stuff you want to do in the email stuff. And sometimes that can be an energy suck, spending all of that time on the emails. And no offense to anyone who wants to work with me or sending me email. This is no offense to them or what they say. It's just the task of doing the administrative stuff for so much time in the morning kind of like takes the creative energy out of me. By 10 o'clock, I'm kind of like, I feel like I did a lot of stuff and I'm not, creative juices aren't flowing. So that's why I try to shift it to where I don't answer emails at night, but then that throws me in a different, that messes everything up, because then I'm like 2 days late responding to people. Anyways, I think there's a world for it. I think more and more lately I've been, at least with ChatGPT and just solving home lab stuff, it is really becoming a co-pilot for me, to where it's like, I'm starting to see a value a lot more. And, it's kind of scary to think what it could do to Google too, because you just totally circumvent Google altogether. Totally circumvent Google altogether. And, it makes me wonder about what the world is like if everyone has a chat assistant and no one goes to web pages anymore. And what happens to those web pages and ad revenue and all of that stuff? It's going to be interesting. I'll just say that over the next couple of years to figure it out. Hopefully Google can get it figured out and get it into search. Because as much as we don't like ads on stuff, that's how companies survive on the web. So, anyways, all right, yeah, a lot of chat assistant stuff. And honestly, I'm going to be spinning up my own here soon with Ollama, and that's why I've been kind of moving stuff around. People are like, "Why do you need this gigantic video card to play games in your server?" And it's like, well, it's not to play games. It's actually to do some large language model stuff. So some AI stuff. Let me see. I think there was, sorry, Trevor. If there were bits, I do apologize. I think I missed. No, wait. I know there were bits, and I want to say thank you, but I don't see it in my screen right here. I saw a Mega Man pop up. All right, give me 2 seconds, because I don't want to be that person and not have a good idea of what's going on in my stuff. Creator dashboard. Let me just get up my events, so then hey, I'm a little bit more informed on what's going on, because I was totally flying blind for a little bit with that without them. Dude, TFCTP, cheer 300 bits. Thank you so much. Tested Gemini, Advanced, and GPT-4 want specific Python code with X instructions and requirements. GPT-4 nailed it. Gemini was thinking all the time, and I wanted to generate images, even though it was saying it wanted a Python code. Very sad for Gemini results. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. I agree. I mean, I can't agree. I don't know about the Gemini side, right? So that's your experience. I know on the GPT side, even when I get the taste of GPT 4.0, I don't know, I get so many questions per day. I don't know. Even on the 3, I'm blown away by 3, especially for tech stuff. Like for troubleshooting, it is just like, wow, this is awesome, And at the same time, like I'm saving so much time because I don't have to sift through a whole lot of web pages. And I know that it just feels different, right? It feels different because I know that content came from web pages. And I know that's how those web pages survive is by advertising. So it's just kind of this push and pull like, hey, I want to be productive as possible. I want to be as efficient as possible. So I'm going to use a chat assistant so I don't have to go do all those other things on the web and get the information back. But that information is based on stuff that needs that ad revenue. So, it's kind of weird to me. I mean, I see it for both ways. Dude, what is going on? There's a lot going on. Oh man. So thank you for your experience, TFCPT. That is awesome. I'm definitely going to be playing a lot more with it, especially with self-hosted stuff here in a little bit. Everyone's so far ahead of me because I need to build the things that make the content, and I'm still trying to figure out architecture. So, dude, Hype Train, thank you so much. Sign one, Alex, dude, 5 subs. Thank you so much. 5 community subs. Dude, I appreciate it, man. Dude, I'm saying dude a lot. That's how you know when I'm speechless is because I'm not really speechless. I say dude. But Mac Willis, Magic Turtle, Farland Lubber, Dan Clancy's Fleet, and Sking. Enjoy your gifted sub from kind. I'm going to say Alex. It's Alex. Thank you so much. Dude, and then Kev, dude, thanks. Community sub. Kev M. Sorry, I'm doing really bad at reading today. Kev M92 gave out a community sub. Dude, thank you so much for gifting a sub. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Kev, where did that go to? I got so much going on. That went to Scotchmist. Hype Train. PC Geek use 30 bits for a gigantify emote. There is a lot going on. Oh, that's how you got the huge emote. Yeah, I like it. I noticed that popped up. Yeah, I did, PC Geek. I saw it earlier and I was like, something's wrong with my resolution. I'm not going to look at that. But now, yeah, I do see it. It is gigantic. It's in chat. That is pretty awesome. And it's funny, I saw those as I was testing the stream because I was testing my lights too because Home Assistant is halfway up. But actually, it was 0 up before the stream because I changed DNS, and I was like, halfway up's better than 0 up. Anyways, I saw those new buttons, and I was like, all right, I can't get distracted. I need to test the lights. But thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the bits. That is pretty awesome that you can do these gigantic emotes, too. Anyways, wow, I think I'm like 3 messages in. So a lot of good chats today. A lot of things that, I've been, I'm glad you guys bring up because these are things that I just think about all the time too. And I'm glad that you're bringing your experience too, because I don't have time to test anything like Gemini. I would love to. I thought about enabling it for my Google Workspace, but it's awesome to hear your guys' experience so that it doesn't sound like me, just giving my own opinion of something too. So I really appreciate when people have, just experiences in general firsthand and let me know, like honest feedback on that kind of stuff. That's awesome. Dude, Express Tech Tips. Hey, thank you so much. Express Tech Tips. I like it. 300 bits. Dude, thank you so much. There is so much going on right now. I think I'm on the third message. All right. But thank you guys. If I missed anyone, just like virtually club me upside the head by posting a message, and I will try to call it out. Alex, have you done any AI hacks with your Home Assistant? I haven't. And again, as I'm moving Home Assistant over to my new application box is what I'm calling my app server with the video card, I plan on doing some of this too. So I'm like co-locating all of my services that either can or do or might need a video card, possibly for AI, as well as services that I can't have down. And so right now I have on there Scripted, Home Assistant, Plex, and Traffic. Just for reverse proxy, because I thought, well, I'm going to put my reverse proxy there, so this is like one box that I can move anywhere I want in the future. Dude, thank you so much. I have no idea what's going on. Dude, Express Tips, thank you. Dude, TFCPT, thank you so much. There is a lot happening. There's so much activities. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. There are lights flashing. And also, if you notice a little bit brighter in here, I decided to keep the curtains open. Figured my neighbors see me. My neighbors are probably like, what is that guy doing in there with pink lights on all the time? I figured I'll open up the windows this time. So, okay. Thank you guys so much. There are things coming in that I don't even understand right now. Dude, thank you so much. Dude, Trevor, I had, hopefully I didn't miss anything. I had a fun time yesterday and today. Fiber cut Illinois that affected our 10G between Palo Alto and Chicago. Wow. As well as the 10G between Denver and Chicago. Verizon had to fix their stuff. That is crazy. That is wild. Yeah, that is crazy. I feel bad for that person that cut it because they're probably getting in a lot of trouble right now. Yeah, that is wild. Hopefully there was some kind of fallback. You know, hopefully it could just take a different route through stuff. I hope. Let's see, honey, where are my pants? Lego movie. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. Yeah, totally. I get the reference, and at the same time, yeah, if ChatGPT was monitoring all of that, you could just be like, where are my pants? Alex, migrating some of your containers. Hey, this is what I was just talking about, from K3S to what? Docker Compose? Will anything be left on your K3S, or are you largely giving up on KatesAtHome? This is a great question because I ask myself this all the time. I was asking myself this right before the stream, like, I better have a good answer for this. And, I keep telling myself that there are things that I need stable, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And it's probably me, or it's how crazy I do things. But like, for me, Home Assistant in Kubernetes is not stable at all. And again, it could be me because, I'm using, you name it. K3S plus Cilium plus Mac VLAN with Multis, and I have 3 VLANs, and I've made a lot of my home architecture and infrastructure pretty complicated. So I'm going through this exercise of going back and trying to keep it simple. I feel like I pre-optimized, and anytime, at least for me, that I pre-optimize, even in code, it just kind of leads to more work and complications down the road. And so, there's the KISS method. You guys have all heard, keep it simple, stupid. But there's also this method that a developer used to tell me all the time when I would try to pre-optimize stuff. I would say, oh, what if we need this in the future? Let's add this. And what if we need this in the future? Then we'll have this there. He would always say YAGNE. 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 I would say, what are you talking about? You ain't going to need it. That's what he would say to me all the time. And it got the point across to where it's like, okay, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We shouldn't add things now just because we might need it later. And I'm not saying, like, with anything that you shouldn't structure things, well, have good architecture. But sometimes I'm guilty of adding a lot of features or toggles or things that I'll need just in case. And so I'm going through this exercise of just trying to make some of my home stuff really solid, right? Make Plex solid. Make Home Assistant really solid. Scripted, super solid. Basically, my home automation, my home security, and my home entertainment. I just want to have, max 9s on my uptime. And Kubernetes wasn't giving me that. Because probably my fault, because I take one node down. Even when it goes down, there's time involved between load balancers, switching the VIPs, and there's the 5-minute timeout that a pod has to be down before it moves. And then if it's attached to a volume, that might even take longer and not happen at all. And so what I'm doing is I'm moving the things like my critical services all onto an application box, and I've been going back and forth on what to use. I was thinking LXC. I was thinking about just plain old Docker or Docker Compose. I was thinking about all kinds of stuff, even VMs. And I was looking at Unraid too. And I think where I'm settling right now, at least to get this going, is I'm going to stick with Docker Compose for now. Because I feel like still staying in the container world, although I won't have a great GitOps story for it, having containers still gives me a ton of flexibility, especially with backing things up, with bind mounts. Like, it makes things super easy, upgrades, all of that stuff. So that's where I'm landing for now. I don't know if I'm going to stay there, but I think my app server that I'm building is going to be just Docker Compose stacks, lots of them. And I'm going to figure out the GitOps piece too. I'm gonna build something that's totally going to be a hack that people should never use in production, but they could use at home for GitOps with Docker only. Because I still want my code base, my Compose files, to be source controlled and Git backed. And then I want the deployment to still be through commits so that I can get updates. So I'm trying to, I've been trying to noodle on this for a long time and try to come up with something, even if it's as simple as like having a CI job run that's Ansible. And Ansible's just saying, Docker Compose up, git pull, Docker Compose up, git pull, Docker Compose up. That's fine with me. Dude, thank you so much. Alex, KISS, there's also, 6P. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. I like it. Yeah, that is actually a counter to my Yagni, where sometimes I'm like pre-optimizing in my head, and then someone says like, "Oh, you're not going to need that. Don't pre-optimize." But this says, "Hey, on the other end, like, proper planning prevents piss poor performance." I totally agree. And that's why I kind of start to think of those things up front. But I like that one too. All right, 6P. I got Yagni, I got 6P, and I got KISS. I need to KISS, 6P, Yagni, all of them together. Oh man. But yeah, it's wild. And I struggle a ton with this. Like I struggle a ton with this, right? Because well, there's kind of three roles I'm playing right now, right? And I think this is going to bleed into someone's question because I saw it fly by and I was like, that's kind of exactly what I'm feeling right now. I should probably get to it. I'll keep moving because I saw it come up and I saw it come up. So I will answer it there. So I can at least get to message 10. Munzie, hello, Tim. Yeah, Tim. Yeah, I've heard that one before. A friend of mine used to call me Tim, always twice. And then when he got really excited, he would say Timmy, Tim. I'm Utba. I think this leads into the question I saw fly by. Hey, Tim, I hope you're doing great. I wanted to apologize in advance for throwing a long question at you. Bring it. I'm okay for long questions because I have long answers. I think it's coming. Munzie, deploying IPv6 to my mini PC cluster using Tunnel Broker and using my own GitLab runner for certain public project builds. That is cool. That is awesome. I'm a huge fan of GitLab. I also use GitLab runners. That's another thing I was going to say that I'm also going to be moving to this application server. Noisy neighbors. And what does that mean? In a shared infrastructure world, noisy neighbors are anything that tries to use too many resources that could affect something else in a shared infrastructure. And my CI builds, like a lot of my computational builds, not that Node is really doing all that much, but when I build containers and stuff, it's super noisy to where it adds latency to those drives to where sometimes Kubernetes freaks out. So I'm focusing on, stabilizing my production stuff in I don't even want to say in the cloud. It's not in the cloud, in the colo, as well as stabilizing some of my home production stuff and moving some of those resource intensive stuff that could impact my K3S cluster in the colo too. So, but anyways, yeah, that is awesome. I haven't done anything on IPv6. A buddy of mine just messaged me and said, you should do something on IPv6 sometime. And I'm like, I need to learn a lot about IPv6 before I can talk about it intelligently. Like, I get it, super high level, but not the do's and don'ts or like practicality, like giving any kind of advice on it. But that is awesome. So IPv6 to your mini PC cluster. That sounds awesome. That sounds exactly what I want to be doing with my mini cluster here soon as I have a good test environment. Here we go. I'm Utba. This is what I was talking about. Hi, Tim. So professionally, I'm a sysadmin, but I've spent time learning web development before fully transitioning to DevOps. My tech stack includes HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Tailwind, and some TypeScript. I don't want to waste this knowledge, and I would like to create projects on my home lab to stay familiar with the code base. Can you provide some ideas on how you use programming in your home lab? This is what I was talking about. This is a good segue into what I was talking about earlier. So I'll answer the question. Maybe I'll give you some background first and say, this is a great question. I feel that same way. My day job, well, my full-time day job used to be full stack developer. And it was true. I don't know. There are probably variations of full stack developer, but I worked for a small startup. You know, there was a handful of engineers, count them on one hand. And we were responsible for everything, from the code we wrote, to the pipelines, to the cloud, to the database, to everything. And so, you know, I spent a large part of my time just developing software, doing DevOps stuff. And I spent a good part of my life doing front-end development too. I do a ton of React. I still do. I still do a ton of React, Redux, you name it, app development. And so, you know, as I'm doing more YouTube stuff, a lot of my YouTube stuff is infrastructure. It's just kind of how it went. And so I'm there with you where I feel like, hey, I still want to keep my development skills sharp. I still want to build things, and I just want to keep those skills sharp, because you know what happens if you don't keep up with those skills. Not only just not practicing them, but they change, especially with software development, especially with front-end development. It changes all the time. And if you miss a couple of beats, like you're out of the game for, I don't know, year and a half, and everyone's moved on from React or Vue or whatever's next, then like you've kind of lost that skill. So I'm right there with you. What I do personally, one, I still consult, so I get to do a lot of it still. I'm fortunate enough to be able to consult and actually contribute software and development still, so that helps a lot. But for me, I wrote a ton of websites. Like I wrote a ton of websites for fun, right? And I host them in Kubernetes. That's kind of how I got into Kubernetes at home, is because I wanted a reliable way to host my websites, to host the services that I wrote. And so I was like, how do I do that? Why not run Kubernetes at home? And that's really how I got into Kubernetes at home. Is it was an enabler for me to be able to host things publicly, services and websites. And so, you know, it's tough. Like, how do you stay sharp? You know, how do I use programming? It's all of that. So I have services, websites, databases, like all of that stuff in my K3s cluster, and even built the CI pipelines for it. And so when I want to write code and deploy code, it's really easy for me to do. So if you want to do that, I would just encourage you, like, hey, build a pipeline of, you know, some front end that you want to build, and have a pipeline go all the way to your production towards publicly hosted. And then it will at least give you some kind of pipeline to get stuff out there and play with it. But it's tough. Like, I go through this all the time. And then, it's tough because, because, you know, there's the developer me, then there's I've done a ton of DevOps me too at work too. So I feel like, you know, whenever someone needed me, it was like, hey, can you do front end? Hey, can you do DevOps? And I was like, yeah, sure. Obviously there was a lot more stuff I could do. So I was always like trying to make sure, like, yes, I've been doing DevOps for like a month straight, but let me do some front end stuff so I don't go crazy. And so a lot of people are the other way around. So I always had that push and pull. And then now with YouTube, I had that push and pull big time too, right? Because I think that's what people expect out of me. If I release a video tomorrow in React, people are going to be like, the heck is this guy talking about? And so, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, especially when you transition into a new role and you don't want to give up on what you used to do because you put a lot of time into it. I'd say just try to keep your skills sharp. And I know that doesn't answer a lot of your questions, but I would say build something at home that you can contribute to over time. because I think that'll help the most. There's a t-shirt, Kubernetes was my enabler. It totally is. Yeah, it was. It's it's kind of weird. It feels like, it feels like usually people do Kubernetes to do it. But for me, it was like, I want to host my website. So how do I do that the easiest way? Oh, Kubernetes. It was not the easiest way, but for me, it was a way to kind of learn it too. So Yocto, how's it going? YWS. Redoing the OS on one of my Ceph nodes and moving to a new rack. Nice. Also including some NVMe storage and dual 40 gig NIC upgrade. Oh my gosh. You got 2 of those NICs. Wow. So redoing the OS on your Ceph nodes, I'm bet. Is it Fedora? I'm just guessing. I don't know what OS you run your Ceph nodes on. I'm gonna say it's either Red Hat Enterprise Linux, if I had to guess, or Fedora. I have no clue. I'm just guessing, or Debian. And then, dude, 40 also included. Yeah, and 40 gig NIC upgrade. I think the fastest NIC I have in my environment is 25 gig, and it's not connected to anything. So. Yocto, Ubuntu 2204. Oh, with HWE kernel. I was so wrong. I mean, that's what I would do. but I was so wrong. Foodora. Yeah, I am hungry. I actually am. I was so wrong. I had you pinned as someone else. I apologize. No. But yeah, that is awesome. You'll have to let me know how it goes. At some point, I feel like your network is going to be faster than NVMe. It probably is. Romeo Jr., hey, how's it going? Hey, Tim, happy Saturday. YWS is growing. That is true, Alex. It is growing for sure. Dr. Zippit, today's system upgrade failed. Oh, bummer. I couldn't fit my 280 millimeter radiators into an ITX system. Oh, man, that stinks. Because that probably means you had everything planned out. You bought the case, you bought the ITX, you bought everything. And then either that or you had it already, but you had these plans to upgrade it and your radiators didn't fix. That is a bummer. Well, hopefully there's a plan B to where you can still use them. Because I know that feeling. And it's just like, got to start all over or figure out something else. And I thought I thought this was the plan. Hello, the server guy. Hey, how's it going? Munzen Mufton. Let's see. I think here's one mentioning me. Tim, I think I figured out the RKE2 with NVIDIA GPUs I was asking about a few weeks ago. I will send your commands. I will send you, I assume. Hey, dude, is it Palace? Yeah, Palace Games. How's it going? I always want to say pious. I'm not going to. Palace Games resub 25 months. Thank you so much. How's it going, Palace Games? Good to see you. I should lower this, but I don't want to lose my place. Thank you. But going back, easy, Sanuk. I will send you the command script that I used to get it installed. I still need to test it with Plex and file flows, maybe TDAR. The commands will require some cleanup. It's just me hacking at a solution. Someone else posted on their blog. There didn't quite work for me. Yeah, I'd love to see it. So you're trying to get NVIDIA, and I assume the NVIDIA drivers plus NVIDIA's container toolkit working with RKE2. Yeah, post it somewhere. I'd love to see it. On Discord. That would be awesome. I haven't done it yet. I tried to do it with Intel. The Intel integrated with RKE2. I don't know if I think it kind of worked, but I didn't have Plex in my K3S, so I'm like, I can run the iGPU. I think there's basically an iTop for Intel stuff, or top for Intel stuff, and it was working, but I didn't have any GPU workloads to test it. So, want a C3000 and D3000. What? I don't know what these are. Yocto. Oh, got it. You're talking about machines. Got it. Let's see. Man of War. Just got some new YubiKeys with extra slots. I'll slowly start migrating to using SSH keys. Just not sure if I can use the same key, one for each YubiKey, or if I need one for each system. I don't know that, Man of War. I haven't done hardware key stuff yet. I haven't done hardware key stuff, especially not YubiKey. So I can't answer that question. I'm sure there are a lot of people. I know XOR and a lot of people in Discord use YubiKeys and swear by them. So if no one knows here, I would recommend, hopping in Discord and asking. Hey Tim, I received 8 free Raspberry Pi 3B units from work, each with 1 gig of RAM. Do you think building a K3S cluster with them will provide enough power to run 10 pods, or should I consider repurposing them for other projects instead? That one's tough. That one's really tough. So what would be the problem with running it? So the challenge is, well, it can be solved a couple of ways. So there are challenges with running Kubernetes, just K3S, any distribution, especially a lightweight one, on Raspberry Pis. A lot of that comes with latency, and that's either network latency, right, because you use wireless, or disk latency, so I/O, because you use a micro SD. If you can remove those two pieces, use a wired NIC and use something faster than a micro SD. It could work if you didn't use the etcd version. And so if you use the MySQL version, right, where you host the database, so you host the state, Kubernetes state, outside of those machines, or it could even be on one dedicated one, since you have 8, you could have one be dedicated to running your MySQL database, then I think it might work. Because a lot of the bulk, so outside the latency, so then, hey, they only have 1 gig of RAM, is that going to work? Maybe. That one's tough too. But a lot of the, like K3S is like a lot of the bulk was removed by moving etcd out of it, right? And so that's if you don't use etcd and use an external database, K3S is super light. But it's once you move etcd inside that you kind of lose a lot of those optimizations and the lightness from K3S, because you're putting all of that back inside. That being said, it's still a relatively light, distribution of Kubernetes, because it doesn't have all the cloud code that it doesn't need. But it gets heavier when you add etcd to it. Most x86 machines, it doesn't even matter. It's totally fine. But if you really wanna do it on super duper low compute machines, take etcd out, put in MySQL somewhere else, host it somewhere else, point them all at that, and do it that way. And you might be surprised. It might work. But again, you're gonna have to upgrade those disks. Can't do micro SDs. Because that'll kill you on the first image pull. And then hardwired, and then put that MySQL database somewhere else. It'd be a fun experiment. I did it originally with my 3Bs, and it was kind of painful. And actually, I joined a 3B to an existing cluster that I had, and I didn't realize that my blog for a day straight was running on a Raspberry Pi, because I just didn't think. I just didn't even put it together. But my WordPress blog just decided one day it's going to move to my Raspberry Pi. Didn't even think about it, and it was fine. But that was an existing cluster where the rest were already x86 machines, and these were just additional nodes. So, yeah, good to think about. Good to test with too. The Zero Sleep this weekend. I'll slow it down. This weekend, I'm finishing up a mobile gaming cart I'm building using an old standing desk space. Awesome. That still works. It will have a 35-inch CRT TV and a dedicated Mister, M-I-S-T-E-R, multi-system connected via S-Video for analog retro awesomeness. Yeah, S-Video is as good as it gets with analog. I remember, was it my Nintendo 64? One of them had S-Video, and I was like, this is the future. This is the future. No more RCA fuzziness. Like I have, this is the future. But that is awesome. I'm a huge fan of like cabinets or retro games, carts, as you call them. A buddy of mine, he used to repair them, and he now has a business where he has them in a cart or in a trailer, and he drives them to people's houses for parties. But it's super fun. He used to have, a garage full of all the ones he repaired or couldn't repair or they didn't want anymore. And it was always fun to get to go over to his house and play in his garage. But that is awesome. So I'm always curious about, it's a mobile gaming cart. Yeah, I'm curious what you're gonna run on it. How about that? I'm going to get it right. Awesome. I migrated off mine. It's still going to be eWay. Oh, this is going back to your machine. Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna start clicking. Cyber Knight, how's it going? Yo, I haven't been here in a while. What'd I miss? Anyhow, I made the transition to the upgradable, sustainable laptop. We all know who. And could not be happier. Camper. Hey, Cyber Knight, that is awesome. Yeah, congrats on your laptop upgrade. Sounds pretty awesome. Dude, Alex. Did you see Mod Retro, a Game Boy Color for 2024? I didn't. Mod Retro, a Game Boy Color for 2024. I didn't. No, that sounds awesome. I mean, I didn't. So growing up, I didn't have Game Boys, but I had friends who did. so I'd always ask them, like, can I play it on the bus? But that is awesome. I miss mobile gaming, and I'm not talking about gaming on your phone. I'm talking about a handheld, because man, it was so fun. Like, talk about an easy way to pass time is playing a game on the go. Now I don't go anywhere, and I don't play games. I need to fix all this, dude. Muffin, how's it going? Resub, tier 1, 44 months. Thank you so much. How's it going? Good to see you, Mafni. Good to see you. No, but I didn't see that about Mod Retro and the Game Boy Color. That sounds awesome. Like, I'm so happy that like retro stuff in general is so popular. But it's funny, like the retro stuff is like when I was younger, so it's like I feel like we're in this culture right now, like pop culture and movies and everything, to where the things that I like when I was younger are popular again, but I feel like And they're getting introduced to a new generation, which then will kind of make it popular again. It's super wild, and I like it. I kind of see where they're going. Like, hey, Ghostbusters, you watched Ghostbusters when you were a kid. Now you're old enough, you have kids. Now you can go watch Ghostbusters with your kid. The same with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, all of that, it's pretty awesome. But that happens with gaming too, and it's pretty awesome. So I love hearing about people like sharing those experiences, especially gaming experience with their kids. And anyways, going back to Game Boy, I didn't hear about it. It sounds awesome. I would love it. I would love it. Let me see. I'm clicking. Damn Lola. Hey people, I'm catching the live stream for the first time. Looking forward to hear people's projects. I am too. I'm Utba, currently beautifying my terminal with, Oh My Zish and Oh My Posh. I don't know about Oh My Posh on Mac, Windows, and Linux. I know Oh My Zish because I use, or Oh My ZSH, because I use it all the time. I love it. A lot of people talking about how hot it is. Let's see. Has anyone tinkered with it? That's question. Let's see. Romeo working on spinning up a private local AI server with Ollama. Yeah. Ollama 3 and LM Studio to put my NVIDIA RTX 3080 to work. Excited to learn more about AI. Hey, I'll be joining you soon. That's why my 3090 is going in this app server, and I'm co-locating everything that can and will use my GPU, from video streams to AI to transcoding. It's all going to go in there. So now I'm like, okay, my 3090 that's, barely gets used, is now going to get used a little bit more. So yeah, for sure. I am Hoopa. Curious, how many hats do you have? Oh man. Funny thing is, my hair is kind of wild. This is the same hat I've been wearing in all my videos, like from the beginning. This is the one hat I have. It's pretty beat up. And this hat, buddy of mine, he designed, I don't know if it's clothing or apparel, but accessories. He designs hats too. And when I used to go to his house, he used to say, want a hat? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And I go in like this room and he had just boxes and boxes of hats. So anyways, he gave me this one, sat in my closet for years. And then I decided to wear it on YouTube, and I've been wearing it ever since. So how many hats do I really have? I mean, I have a dark mode hat. I have this hat. Then I have a tan one, a gray one, and that's it. But yeah, I this is like a big person hat. I need a big person hat because I have a huge noggin, and it's rare. And it's not only like this is big. It's like the bill is big too. So if I put it on forward, I can still. I mean, it's pretty big, but if I put it on forward, yeah, it doesn't look like it's small on me. I'll put it that way. A lot of hats look like they're small on me because one, I'm so tall and then my head's so big. Anyways. Oh, let's see. Dr. Zip-It, I failed setting up my main rig today and wanted to move into a fully 3D printed case, but I have few clearance issues because I'm cramping in a lot of ITX case. Yeah, this is what we talked about earlier. So onto my new NAS with 4x4 terabytes. Oh, Iron Wolf's nice. Disk and an N100 and a 3D printed case. That is awesome. It sounds like a great NAS. So 4x4 terabyte Iron Wolf NAS drives. Then N100, perfect. One of the most perfect, I think, Intel CPUs for NAS, especially. And then 3D printed case. I always wondered about this. Like I was wondering earlier today, how well they work. Like I get it, they're gonna house something, right? Does it protect it? Does it keep dust out? Yes, and yes. I always wondered though about like heat dissipation, right? Because it's plastic and it's going to soak up heat. I wonder how that works. And I was thinking even earlier, because I was thinking about printing out. The reason why this is even top of mind was because I was considering printing out 2.5 inch to 3.5 inch adapters for SSDs. Even though I don't have a printer, I was thinking about it and I was like, oh, that'll soak up a lot of heat. I wonder how that works. I wish I could print metal. And then I went down this tangent, which brings me back to this. But you'll have to let me know. I saw, I've seen some interesting things printed too. I saw this, I can't find it again, but someone printed this like all-in-one portable, like server, access point, and router all-in-one case to where they could just bring it wherever they went. And I can never find it again because I want to show Gearling. But I always wondered like how that works. How does that work out? Like printing out your case. Like, is it like a novelty or is it like, yes, I'm really going to use this because it sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. Trying out TrueNAS. All right. As an OMV user. Awesome. Yeah, I've been looking at Open Media Vault. I keep landing on a lot of their forum posts for other things, but I always wonder how they're doing. I'm sure fine. Already set mine up, monitoring things I can't really afford right now. I hear you. This is going back to change detection. Yeah, I hear you. Some people are using it to monitor their children so they don't have to. I don't know if that's the change detection or like video cameras in general, but yeah, man, kids these days. Man, there's no getting away from your parents, kids these days. I mean, with me, when I was younger, all I had to do was walk out of the house, and then it was just like I'm on my own until whenever I come home. Maybe I'll stop and call, but oh man, yeah, it's wild. Kids these days, I know they have a lot going on, and I feel for them because there's just technology. Dr. Zip-It, I'm using a NAS that also has an app server, but then I also want a side machine with Proxmox that I can run K3S machines on to play with. Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm there plus. I'm there plus. And that's me right now. I have an NAS, plus I want my app server, plus I want my K3S cluster, plus. And there's one more. I think I keep saying if I had one more machine, or one more cluster. And I think that's just how it goes. But I'm starting to co-locate the things together that I want. But there's always like, oh man, if I just had one more machine, then I wouldn't have to destroy this one thing every time I do it. But yeah, it's pretty wild. DJ Keck, how's it going? Just dipped my toes into Home Assistant, and OMG, is this rabbit hole, and I'm addicted. I hear you. I always say, you could make a career out of Home Assistant if you wanted to, be a Home Assistant consultant, and you'd never run out of work. Hey, maybe that's the thing. But even if you did it yourself, and you're just getting into it, I dive into it and then I back off, and then I dive into it and I back off. Mainly, I back off because something breaks, usually my fault, and I'm like, I get fed up with it, and then I go back in. So I know you're at the phase I was at, like I'm going to automate everything. You might get to the phase where you're like, okay, maybe I automated too much. And maybe you won't. Maybe that'd be awesome if you didn't. But I'm at that point now where I'm just like, I just need, 5 or 10 automations that would make my life a lot easier. The rest is icing on the cake, just so in case one day I need to turn on the lights or see if they're on or off. But so yeah, congratulations. It is awesome. I'll see you in about 2 years. Easy Sanook. Need tiered storage setup. Flash for VMs and DBs, spinning disk for larger data. Yeah, multimedia. I don't know if that's a recommendation to me or you're saying you do, but I agree. And that's kind of what I'm doing too. That's kind of what I'm doing. My app server is 100% flash, and then my NAS is for larger data. I'll just put it that way. Slow changing, large files. And then, everything else is going to be back on my app server, which is 100% flash now, and I'm not going to put any spinning disk in there at all. I think I got eight SSDs right now, so it's pretty awesome so far. Dr. Zippet, I've been on Home Assistant Hype Train since 021 in Python VVenv. Oh, Python VENV. I hear you. I was kind of a late bloomer when it came to that. For sure. Would love to see Techno Tim do a craft computing stream, having a few beers. Hey, I was on Jeff's stream. I don't know, like 2 weeks ago. And this is where we got into talking about bubbly water, because I know he always cracks his favorite drink, and I cracked my favorite drink, and it was actually it was so odd, but we had one in the fridge because I was curious about it. It was a Baja Blast Mountain Dew, 0 sugar. So anyways, that's what I cracked. But then we got into talking about bubbly water, and that's where I talked about the weirdest one I ever had was green bean casserole. It was super weird and gross. And then it is a real flavor. I think they make that flavor just so they could say they have it. It's good marketing. It's great marketing. Because I wouldn't be talking about that company if they didn't have the green bean casserole flavor. And see, they have 4 or 5 other great flavors, like a honey pumpkin and stuff, like these really awesome flavors. I think it's Aurora. I forget what it's called, Aurora something. But anyways, but yeah, I talked to Jeff. Yeah, go check it out. We talked about all kinds of stuff. It was awesome. I always like talking to Jeff. There's never a moment of silence when I talk to him. It's awesome. Oh, water is delicious. Oh, does that show? Oh, it kind of shows it. Not big, though. Not big. Okay, let's see. It is, in fact, Welsh. Are you cold pronounced Welsh, then it's easier. You need a cold to pronounce it in Welsh. It's easier. Oh, that's going back there. Okay, let's see. Gonna look for ones that are mentioning me. Man, time has flown by and I've already gone over a little bit. Let's see. Alex says Apple Intelligence isn't in developer beta 1 and it won't be arriving until later this summer. Yeah, I think, I don't want to say they have the cart in front of the horse, but they had to announce AI on this WWDC or like people would just, it was 100% expected. Maybe not their implementation, but that they would announce something. And with that, that's a moving target. So they're kind of like, yes, we're going to have AI and like it's going to be baked into everything. And we're going to have, ChatGPT, except private, which all sounds great. I think they're still figuring out the how and probably the integration piece. Because imagine integrating 1 billion phones, to something in the cloud. Apple always does on-device stuff. They've done great at it. But now they've exceeded what they can do on device. And so they got to move stuff to the cloud. And they've always been huge on security. And they've always prided themselves on doing stuff local. But now they've exceeded what they could do on their phones. For now. I still think they'll bring it back local as soon as they build whatever, the M5 or the M10. and that starts appearing phones. But yeah, it's exciting. But could you imagine like trying to integrate 1 billion phones? I mean, I don't know how many active ones they have, but to a cloud service, it's like far beyond any scale you could possibly imagine. Beyond. I mean, it's only a problem that Apple or Google or Facebook, or Microsoft would have. Like no one else in the world has these problems like they do, and it's so wild, to think that they're solving problems that probably no one else in the world will ever have to solve because no one else has that amount of scale. It's incredible. It's incredible. But then we get to benefit at some point from what they figure out or what they develop because all that stuff will trickle down eventually. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Atomic Django, hey, I found your Twitch recently. Glad to see Twitch channel that is a homeland. Hey, Atomic Django, yeah. Anytime. Yeah, anytime. That's kind of what we talk about. Probably late getting your comment, but yeah, it's what we talk about. I love talking about it. It's my one time a week. Let's see. Alex feels like AI is the new Netflix, Hulu, and 101 other streaming subscriptions. Yeah, I agree. It does. It's everywhere. It is everywhere, and everyone's like sprinkling it in. But yeah. PC Geek, after my power service upgrade, I'm now running on a massive 220 VA APC UPS with network monitoring card. Awesome. Went from 15 minutes of runtime to a whole hour. That is awesome. Yeah, I know you were talking about I think you're getting AC and a power upgrade and all kinds of stuff. So you got upgraded, I think to 220 volt or something. Anyways, you have a better UPS that gives you an hour. Isn't an hour just like unbelievable? It's like, what am I going to do with all this time? And then the power goes out for, half hour and you're like, I hope it comes back on. But yeah, that is awesome. I think you got me beat on time. I might be right under an hour, but that is awesome. Congratulations on your new APC UPS. That sounds awesome. Okay, gonna look for mentions because I want to make sure that I address everyone because wow, this was a super active stream and I'm still gonna keep going, but I want to make sure I get to ones that are looking for me or want to talk about something. I personally use Unraid, yeah, and I keep running into problems with updates and containers. And what really worries me is how I plan to access this externally. I'm thinking Tailscale or Cloudflare tunnels, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Unraid's super solid. That's a bummer on container updates. I mean, you'll have that. I mean, I don't think it's anything that Unraid's doing. It's just maybe the container maintainers. But, yeah, so accessing your stuff publicly, yeah, that depends on how you want to do it. Tailscale is great if you want to build up, mesh network that's over WireGuard. So over a VPN, over through a secure tunnel that you can add multiple devices to and kind of have your own private network, an overlay network that only authorized devices can get to. So it's really great for that. It's great for a lot of things, but it does that really well. And then, if you're thinking Cloudflare tunnels, I'm sure you do understand the differences between the two, but if, Cloudflare tunnels allows you to, use Cloudflare's proxy to expose your services, right? And then you could put zero trust on them. Basically, you could password protect them if you want, and you can give people access to them, right? Very easily. So the way I would think about it, if I was going to do it, I'm like, is this a service like only I need, or is this a service like I might want other people to have access to? And arguably, it still could be you. But yeah, it's kind of a tough choice. But I will say with Cloudflare tunnels, it's only going to be HTTP, right? And so if you wanted to do something that, I don't know, you needed a database port for, right? You wanted to host a database at home and, I don't know, connect to it from somewhere else, some other home, you wouldn't be able to do that through Cloudflare tunnels. And that's where what's it called? I'm like losing my train of thought. That's where, sorry, Tailscale comes in. I always want to just call it WireGuard instead of Tailscale. That's what it uses. But that's where Tailscale will come in, where you could, add multiple clients. But I think Tailscale is really cool, especially It's really cool, I think, all the time. I think it's cool how you could just add devices to this network and kind of have your own personal network for sure. For sure. HA Kiss, also 6P. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what we talked about. Yeah, that was on the bit. So thank you very much. Oh, here we go. So Atomic Django, I'm looking forward to HexOS that might be going to beta soon. I think it might end up being reliable. Yeah, great. I'm glad you mentioned this. I'm glad you mentioned this because, like, HexOS, you guys probably know. If you don't know, it's the NAS OS that Linus and co. Have been working on, investing in, talking about, and hinting about, and teasing. And I think they talked about in the last WAN show, and I saw parts of it, and it sounds interesting. So I'm going to admit, like, I was a little bit surprised when I saw the beta site, and it was like, this is built on top of TrueNAS. I honestly had to refresh the page a couple times and like think about what that meant. Because I had to think about, I was like, that was one of the things where it was like, we're built on top of TrueNAS because, it's so dependable. And I was like, wait a second. So then what? I really had to take a step back, and then it started to make sense. It's like, okay, I get it. Like TrueNAS, very obtuse. Like it's built for an enterprise storage administrator because it's an enterprise storage, system. So it makes sense. Like their target audience is not even me, right? Because I had to learn a lot about ZFS before I even did it. I'm still learning about it. I still don't know everything. I still don't even know if I'm doing it right. And so what they I think just decided to do was like, hey, let's just use, I assume the back end, let's use TrueNAS instead of rebuilding that, and then build a UI on top of that makes it super easy to use. So it was it was super interesting choice. And then I at first I was kind of like, oh, that is not what I was expecting. I wasn't disappointed. I was just like kind of put off. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, this is just like something I would do too, because like I'm a developer. Do I want to reinvent the wheel, right? If someone has, some components that I want to use, like, do I just rewrite them and spend all that time and money just because I want to rewrite them? And then it probably wouldn't be half as good as this thing that's tried and true. So then I was like, okay, I totally get it. I got behind it because I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I would do if I was a developer. And if I wanted to enhance something, and there was a great back end for it, I'd write my own front end for it. I'm sure there's a lot of back end code and a lot of stuff that goes on. I'm oversimplifying, but my interest is piqued. My interest is piqued because it's like, yeah, that's true. It's like most of our code half is written by people on Stack Overflow. I totally agree. That's why it like irks me a little bit when people are like, we can't have AI generated code in our code base. I'm like, you've had Stack Overflow code in your code base for 20 years and no one said a word. anyways. So yeah, I totally get what I'm there with you. Anyways, but I think it's super interesting. I'd love to play with it. Linus or anyone, like, yeah, let me in. I signed up for the beta twice on 2 emails. Let me in. I'd love to play with it. I'd love to check it out. But sounds interesting. And I think like, well, what does that mean for people who are already running TrueNAS? Are people going to switch? I don't know. I don't know. That's what kind of put me off too. I'm like, I figured this was going to be positioned somewhere in between TrueNAS, highly enterprise, and Unraid and Open Media Vault, like pretty open, low requirements, do what you want, type of stuff. Doesn't have a rigid file system like ZFS, although you can use ZFS if you want. So I thought it was going to be positioned right in the middle, like with all of the consumer, features and niceties that Unraid has. It makes things really easy to do, especially when it comes to disk management and containers and all of that. Great UIs to do stuff, but like still give me some robustness from from TrueNAS. That's where I was thinking in my head. I'm like thinking like, okay, it's somewhere in between. It's going to be like if Unraid and TrueNAS had a baby. That is not what it's going to be like. It seems like it's going to be like if TrueNAS had a cousin. If TrueNAS had a cousin that had a great UI to do things that was pretty easy, that didn't require you to know, every little thing about ZFS. And again, I'm just totally speculating on all of this because I only know what I saw in the NAS Compares video and a little bit on the WAN show and a little bit from the website. So a lot of speculation on my part, but I'm excited for it. But yeah, that's because I think it was being positioned that way. I'm wondering then, will it make me switch? Will it make me switch? Will it make someone who's even more advanced than me switch? Will it make someone who's less advanced than me switch? Will it make anyone switch? And that's where I just don't know. I'm sure there's going to be a lot we'll see here in the future. And I'm wondering if them now announcing that they're switching, to Docker, away from Kubernetes threw a wrench in their plans too, right? I was just like, oh my gosh, could you imagine developing this and saying, yep, this is what we're doing. TrueNAS, they've been doing Kubernetes stuff. Say what you want about it. We're just going to make it easy. We're going to put a facade all the Kubernetes stuff, and we're going to make it super easy for people to add apps. And then all of a sudden TrueNAS is like, we're not doing Kubernetes anymore. Oh, I could only imagine if that were the case, what that would be for that team that's developing it. Oof, that kind of stinks. Anyways, it's I'm super excited about it. I love software though. I love software, especially when you have the tight integration between software and hardware. I love it for sure. Okay, I'm gonna look for ones that directly mention me. I do apologize. I kind of went off on a lot of tangents talking about things, but there's been a lot on my mind over the last couple of weeks, and when all these topics come up, I'm like, oh yeah, I never got to talk about that. Dude, thank you so much. Mayrink, resub. 1 month, 29 months. Thank you so much. Hey, Tim, it's been a while since I was able to catch your stream. Happy to be here. Hey, I appreciate it. Mayrink, thank you so much. I appreciate the continued support. Glad you're here. I'm super glad you're here. And I am going to find some more messages really quick. Here we go. Zero Sleep, Techno Tim. Mister is an FPGA-based hardware emulation that's a cycle accurate to any old consoles up to N64. That is awesome. So you could do I was thinking MAME games because that's what my friend did. I mean, they were like the real games with the boards you put in, the Street Fighter 2 board. But this is awesome. So hardware emulation, that is awesome. That sounds super awesome for sure. All right, guys, I am going to, if I don't see one that mentions, here we go. Bitoffs. Techno Tim, what would you recommend for 2.5 inch? What would you recommend for 2.5 inch drives in a disk array, standard SATA, HDDs, SAS, or SSDs? I'm going to grab a drink because my throat is so dry. So what would I recommend? Just SATA hard drives, SAS, or SSD. I think if you're bound to 2.5, I would say SSD. I don't see a huge future. I could be wrong, in SATA-based hard drives that are 2.5 inch, that are hard drives, not SSDs. I could be wrong. Same with SAS. So I would go SSD. I don't even know your workloads. Because back in the day, you would have to say, okay, what are your data access patterns? Are these virtual machines? Are these databases? Or is this just long-term storage? But when it comes to, hey, I only have 2.5, SSD, I think is the way to go. I mean, even outside of your access patterns, even if it is going to be slow-moving, stuff, which I doubt it is. Are slow changing, I would still go SSD because I feel like I could be wrong, but spending money on 2.5 inch smaller hard drives that might even be SaaS might be, more cost effective to just spend it on SSDs, because at the end of the day, they're SSDs. And so if you ever wanted to move those around and you wanted to perform somewhere else and the thing you were working on before didn't work out, then you still have SSDs, And so that's the way I would go. I mean, that's the way I would go. Relatively cheap. I mean, the cost per gig is nowhere near 3.5 inch, hard drives, but you're talking about 2.5 only. So yeah, I would totally go. I would go all SSDs. Like if I could, I would everywhere. Cause yeah, dude, Alex, great to see you one today. Thanks for the bits. Techno Tim, you rocked it. Thank you. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. I hope you do too. That is actually a good segue. Let me make sure that, I don't make that. I'm sure I missed so many things. Let me, two more. Well, subathon when? Dude, Dr. Zip It. I have no, it would be, so with subathons, they're usually 24 hours. There's no way I could do 24 hours. There's no way I could. I know that people take breaks and all this stuff. I assume it would be, but there's no way. I'd be dead. I'd be dead. I used to be able to. I could still pull an all-nighter, but that messes me up for a couple of days. But I appreciate it. It does sound fun. Maybe if there's something special. I don't know if there's something special. There's some kind of event or charity or something. Yeah, I would love to. We don't even have to call it a subathon, but it would be cool. But it would have to be something pretty special. Let's maybe I can just stay online until I get 1 million subscribers and see how fast that happens. Be a long time, be like years. Real quick, so Mayrink, this just real quick, express site tips, express IT tech tips. Yeah, that's it. Got it. Dude, thank you so much. 700 bits towards the subathon. Oh man, thank you. I appreciate it. But oh man, that would be tough. That would be tough. But if I was doing something, yeah, if it was something for charity and I had something going on and that needed a spotlight shown on it for a day, yeah, that sounds fun. But I'd have to make sure I was mentally prepared for it. Okay, last one, Mayrink. This is the last one I saw, and I'm going to read it from here. I'm trying to deploy traffic to my environment by following your video from a month ago, but I have decided to create a DMZ for my published services, which is messing up with my head and my environment. Do you have any recommendations on how to approach a migration from an environment that I have VLANs from my home lab, but want to create a DMZ and migrate my services to it? Yeah. So I mean, I've done similar stuff to this before, right? I started out with a flat network, didn't have any VLANs. Then one day I decided I need 5 VLANs, and I had to start breaking down Docker machines, breaking down individual services on those Docker machines, putting those on new Docker machines, and then putting those on those VLANs. So I think it's a combination of stuff. It depends on how many services you have, but at the end of the day, it should be, for the most part, a little bit of DNS magic, and mostly DNS magic, I would say. Mostly DNS magic, if you have DNS already, right? And because all your traffic labels are going to be pointing at a DNS entry, right? And you probably have a proxy network on that Docker machine, and it's external. So yeah, the tough part I think is going to be, and what I started to run into was like, now you need traffic on multiple machines, or you set up traffic to then one version of traffic on one machine that then accesses, everyone proxies through that machine to then get to another machine that has it published. So, I mean, those are the kinds of things you'll kind of have to decide. For a while, I did that where I was like, one version, of traffic in my whole entire environment, even though I had 3 Docker machines, just to keep it simple. But that meant if that one machine was down, then no one could get to the, other 2 machines. And so shortly after that, I was like, oh, who cares if I have 3 instances of traffic running? And I tried to make each machine self-contained. But yeah, I don't, where I have VLANs in my servers in my home lab, but want to create a DMZ. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just gonna come down to moving it, maybe a little downtime, and then DNS magic. I mean, personally, what I would do is kind of what I'm going through right now with my stuff. I'm building the new stuff in the new environment. It's exactly what I'm doing right now. My Plex, all that stuff, building on a new machine, new VLAN, new everything. I'm getting it mostly ready. And then at some point, I'm going to shut down the old, migrate the config, and flip DNS. And it should just work after that. Anything else after that is just going to be, it's going to be a handful of things, maybe, typos or whatever that you're going to have to figure out. But that's what that's what I'm going through right now. I'm moving my Plex, moving a whole bunch of stuff, moving my traffic on my Docker only instance. Well, I actually spun up a new version of traffic that's Docker only just this morning when I thought I was done with that because I was running Kubernetes. I still am running Kubernetes. That is probably something I didn't answer from Alex earlier. But anyways, I'm a fan of like build and migrate too, if you can. So build the new stuff, migrate the data, flip DNS if you need to, and then shut down the old. And then hopefully that'll work. Anyways, I'm going back to this because Alex was like, hey, are you still running Kubernetes? Absolutely, yes, I still am. I still have Kubernetes. The way I kind of talked about this earlier, but the way I have it in my mind, my colo, that's all Kubernetes. Like that is all Kubernetes. That won't change. Home Kubernetes for me is going to be either things I want to tinker with or things that I don't care if they're down. Home Assistant, I care if it's down. Plex, I care if it's down. Scripted, I care if it's down. Traffic, I care if it's down. And so for those four services so far are pretty critical. I'm putting them on their own machine that's a dedicated application machine that has my video card so I can do AI stuff and co-locate all the video stuff that might need access to that card. So anyways, you all, thank you so much. Like today was wild. Today was wild. I appreciate you guys all so much. Thank you so much. There were lots of bits. There were lots of subs. There was gifted subs. There was resubs. There was tons of chat. And I thank you so much. I really appreciate people being here, mostly too, and just hanging out. It went a little bit over because, having a ton of fun. But thank you so much. If I skipped over your question, I'm sorry. If I missed it or overlooked it, I apologize. If you wanna continue the conversation, or if you need something from me directly and I didn't answer it or I overlooked your comment, you can virtually club me over the head in Discord by adding me and mentioning me, and I will try to follow up there. We have a Discord full of almost 10,000 people. We're getting pretty close. And I would love you to join. Super low ping, a lot of smart people, a lot of channels, a lot of information in there. Usually if you have a problem, you could probably search in there, especially if it relates to anything that I talk about, and you'll probably find an answer in there. Pretty good one too. So I encourage you to join. If not, that's fine too. I will be back here next Saturday on Twitch, and then hopefully I have something out for you soon. I'd love to turn something around and get it out for you soon, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you all so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. Have a great rest of the week and be good to each other. Take care, folks.